Ukraine's president says that the next round of trilateral talks on ending the war with Russia will resume in Abu Dhabi on Wednesday. Volodymyr Zelenskyy says that Kyiv is ready for substantive two-day talks.
We are in constant communication with the American side and are expecting specific details from them regarding further meetings. Ukraine is ready to work in all working formats. It is important that there are results and that the meetings take place. We are counting on meetings next week and are preparing for them.
Russia currently holds around 20% of Ukrainian territory. It has been slowly taking villages and settlements in Ukraine over the past year. Former President Dmitry Medvedev says that Russia is interested in ending the war with a victory, as he says, as soon as possible.
The fact of a military victory is obviously very important, and it can already be seen in a number of indicators. But it is no less important to think about what comes next. After all, the purpose of victory is naturally to prevent new conflicts. The objectives of a special military operation were set out from the start of President Vladimir Putin. They have remained largely unchanged since then, but there are some nuances, but overall, they are the same. So I would like this to happen as soon as possible.
Meanwhile, the fighting continues in Ukraine. Russian attacks have injured at least 6 people at a maternity hospital in Zaporizhzhia. The governor called it war waged against life. Russia and Ukraine recently agreed to stop strikes on energy infrastructure as temperatures of minus 15 degrees Celsius and lower have gripped both countries. Oleksandr Merezhko joins us now. Sir, you're a member of Ukraine's parliament, and you are the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. You're in Kyiv this hour. So your president, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, has flagged 2 outstanding issues in these forthcoming peace talks. One is the issue of territory. Who will end up controlling what, specifically in the Donbass region? And the other is Zaporizhzhia. That is Europe's biggest nuclear plant, which sits in Ukraine but is currently under Russian control. Will those 2 things be discussed in the next round of talks?
Thank you for inviting me. Of course, these are major sticking point, and the only obstacle which remains on the road to peace, or at least ceasefire, is Putin himself. Our president, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, talking about 10% which are left for discussion. He also mentioned that in these 10% is everything. For example, when we're talking about Russian demand for Ukrainian troops to withdraw from the rest of the territory of the Donetsk region, Putin himself understands that it's absolutely unacceptable for Ukraine. From legal point of view, from political, moral, and of course from strategic and military point of view. He is not capable to take by military hand the rest of the territory of the Donbass, and that's why he's trying to achieve this goal through diplomatic and political means. As for
pause there for a second. Excuse me, sir. Since we're on the issue of territory, do you see a scenario? I understand you've just said no, but do you actually see a scenario where Ukraine might concede territory? Because if it doesn't, perhaps the war continues.
It's very easy to stop the war, to withdraw Russian troops and to stop the act of aggression. It's very simple. It doesn't depend on us. It depends on Putin. But we will never agree to sacrifice not only our territories, but our people, because to sacrifice our people in the occupied territories means to subject them to Russian murders, rapes, tortures. It's unacceptable for us. We cannot leave our people in the hands of Russian aggressors.
Even if it means no peace deal?
Peace deal can be reached without negotiations. The only road to peace deal, or at least ceasefire, to return to initial Mr. Trump's idea about unconditional ceasefire. And the only way to make Putin to respect ceasefire is to put maximum pressure on him by applying serious sanctions and by providing all necessary military assistance to Ukrainian army. That's the only way to peace.
You say you want partners to apply maximum pressure on Russia. Is there a lot more that, whether it's Europeans or Americans, is there a lot more that they can do? They have increased sanctions. There has been round after round of sanctions. They are seizing Russian tankers of the Shadow Fleet. Is there a whole lot more that they can do at this point?
Well, first of all, we're tremendously grateful for all military and material support provided by our European partners, allies and friends. And also we're grateful to the United States. But of course, it can be done more. President Trump himself mentioned that a lot more can be done. For example, he promised to implement serious sanctions against those countries which provide lifeline to Russia by buying Russian oil and gas. I mean, Indian, Chinese companies, it can be done and it should be done. And of course, in terms of military support, the United States can provide us with all necessary, for example, long-range missiles like Tomahawks.
On Zaporizhzhia, it's a Ukrainian power plant. Just setting the context here for our viewers. By all rights, the energy that it generates should be going to Ukrainians who badly need it, but Russia controls this plant. So what is the possible solution there?
It's a grave danger. It's extremely dangerous to keep this power plant under Russian occupation, because Russia can use it for all kinds of provocation and deliberately cause nuclear catastrophe, like maybe bigger than Chernobyl catastrophe. That's why it's so dangerous to keep it, to allow Russia to keep this nuclear power plant. Of course, it should be returned to Ukraine, no doubt about this. And of course, there can be some international supervision to guarantee security of this important for the whole Europe nuclear power plant.
Has Ukraine received reliable, concrete, specific security guarantees at this point in the talks?
The only reliable and realistic and the cheapest security guarantee for Ukraine, which will genuinely prevent Putin from attacking Ukraine again, is only membership, NATO membership for Ukraine. That's the only way, because we're thinking realistically, what is the best deterrent which can prevent Putin from attacking us again? Only nuclear deterrent. So that's why that's the only reliable and authentic security guarantee for Ukraine.
Okay, well, NATO membership, it doesn't seem, is actually on the table. Not only have the Russians said that they would never accept that, but even Donald Trump has said that NATO was no longer an option for Ukraine, at least as far as he's concerned. We're going to have to leave it here for now, but Oleksandr Merezhko, you're a member of Ukraine's parliament. We thank you for joining us on Al Jazeera this hour.
Thank you.
Don't miss out the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.